to give a bit of a follow-up to the video clip you just saw. The main point that I will restate, that the video already stated in case you missed it or didn't read it, because from some of the comments that I've read, there are people that I don't believe read the text in the videos. The point that I'm trying to make is solely to refute those that want to present the argument that overclocking has no credit and or is not needed, is foolish, what have you, and to include liquid cooling into that same lump there. What I just demonstrated in that video clip is the power of overclocking. I paid a certain amount of money for the hardware in this machine, and just by overclocking it, I get so much more bang for the buck. If this is a working environment, I just save myself considerable production time. So quite frankly, I find it ridiculous for those that want to present arguments in order just to attack or discredit overclocking and liquid cooling. It is obvious and it has been demonstrated the power of doing so. To restate, I overclock because I will maximize the performance of all the hardware that I own. I liquid cool because liquid cooling gives me the most scalability in doing so. Technically, I test varied programs at different clock speeds just to see what the performance is. There is no other simpler way to state it. If I pay for hardware, I want it to be at its maximum performance, not in the middle of the road. And you could verse that just the saying, I have a computer and I let it run on stock speeds, and then a next generation comes out. I can pay an exorbitant marginal difference for that new computer and try to sell my old one, or, if applicable, have the option to overclock it. And just by overclocking, actually get the same performance as that next generation computer that is coming out. Major cost savings, I would say. Now, I will admit that some viewers of this are going to get irritated just as well because they won't understand my message. They will construe it as Mac versus PC, and then somehow Mr. Bit is all about custom building. Because I know one of the questions was asked, if I was ultimately to choose, what would it be? Well, in hardware, you're damn right that I'm going to go with the path that I can control the most, which is building my own. That doesn't make the one OEM company that I do have, which is Apple, a bad computer, no. But Macs are not really prone to overclocking, and usually the argument is well, we don't need to overclock because OS X is that much better of an operating system. I'm not going to argue that, but that status quo argument, just at the hardware level, is ridiculous to me, because if hardware runs OS X at this level, and you were to optimize that hardware, just think at the levels of OS X could reach then. It would be ridiculous. One cannot say that you don't need it. If you're happy with the status quo and what you pay for the computer, that's fine. But I will always, again to restate, maximize the performance of my hardware. Period. It's just frustrating to see some of these arguments. Oh, I don't need liquid cooling and all this and all that. I feel that some viewers will simply go in what they can get, or if specifically there are Mac users that will purely 100% defend Apple no matter what. And if Apple went to liquid cooling tomorrow, then liquid cooling would be praised. If liquid cooling was dropped, it would then be ruined. You know, it seems to be that when technologies come out, in the hardware level of things, because this is all Intel, that now it's great. When if the technology were a little bit older and maybe it wasn't into a Mac, had been ridiculed before, but now because it's present in a Macintosh, it has now earned the crown of righteousness to be a computer. I feel that there's too much of that going on, and there's not a whole lot of understanding and just rationality and understanding that x86 architecture is x86 architecture, and if you can make it more efficient, do so. Man, there are days, sure, that I believe a lot of Mac users cannot come to terms with that are running on Intel versus the days of the RISC chips where, yeah, it was crushing to the x86 architecture. I mean, there would be shows just on it, how RISC chips fared against their Intel competitors. So, at the same token, understand now it's the x86 world. And maybe one day Apple will let you tweak the hardware and overclock it or whatever. And if that day comes, I'm sure then Mac users, that will be praised and it'll maybe be accepted. I'm just saddened by the fact that simply not understanding the technology, one cannot understand the message. It has to be somehow packaged for the message to be understood and branded with a certain logo before it's accepted. And I can understand brand loyalty, but the whole point of why I do videos is to try to bring to you all of the computing experience and knowledge that I have and share it with you, and perhaps learn a thing or two from you guys in the process. It is clear from my other videos on what I like and I don't like, but it is not from an emotional standpoint. Some of it may be when it comes to like business deals that I didn't like that have happened in the past. But if anything, technology is really cut and dry. It's ones and zeros. And understanding that is exciting and educational. If you are such a computer user that seeks to know that. That was the whole point of Why We Are Here video that I did recently. So, in conclusion, I hope no one again takes this as a bashing of anything video. It's a defense, just like I've defended OS X and other technologies in my videos. If I see something that I know is not right about technology, I will present an argument against it, and expect that from me. I wouldn't be making any credible material if I wouldn't do so. Anyway, thanks for watching.